It's Emil Guillermo, Emil Amok to you. This is show week, so things are going to be a little sporadic. I've got a show I'm doing in San Francisco at the Solo Fest, the SF Solo Fest. If you want tickets, you can see me live. It's the Playground SF Solo Fest at Potrero Stage, which is at 1695 18th Street in Potrero Hill. You know, January 17th, 7 p.m. January 26th, 8:30 p.m., February 2nd, 8:30 p.m., and February 7th, 2:30 p.m. I know these are all awkward times, all different times, but it's at the playground there, 18th Street, Potrero Stage. It's free where I do my show, 69 Emil Amok or Emil Amok 69. It's the same upside down, right side up. It is about my Trump derangement syndrome. I don't have Trump derangement. I don't think so. I'm normal. I'm normal. Anyway, some people have liked my shows, and there's a QR code. There's me. It's not stand up. It could be a rant. It could be a variation of what I do here in the show. But it's coming January 17th, 7 p.m. live. Now here's the thing: the tickets are free, but with donation. Now, am I asking you for a king's ransom? No, no, a very reasonable donation. Am I asking you for like a $400 million airplane, like the Emir of Qatar, gave to Donald Trump? No, 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 no. I'm. It's a small donation, and it's something I'll share with the playground folks. They help people write plays, one man shows. I love this festival. I did it a couple of years ago. I started touring around the country, different fringe festivals, and this is a good one. And here's the thing: you can see it live in San Francisco, or you can see a video live stream. You can choose to pick the live stream option, and you can see it from wherever you are in the country, the East Coast, West Coast, South Coast, North Coast, anywhere, Central Coast. Just go to playground /sf.org/solofest and then find me, 69 Emil Amok, and then get your tickets however you want them. It's free with donation. And there's the times again: January 27th, 7 p.m., January 26th, 8:30 p.m., February 2nd, 8:30 p.m., and February 7th, 2:30 p.m., a matinee. These are all Pacific Standard Time. So adjust accordingly if you're in Hawaii, if you're in New York, if you're in Texas. Come see the show. I'd love to have you there. It's free by donation, and it's not like the kind of streaming things. They put one camera out there, and you got one camera. It's like, oh, we're looking at a meal through a Ring camera here. No, it's better. 3-camera shoot, 3 cameras. And they told me the other day, it's like we were trying to replicate a studio shoot for theater with like a broadcast setup, 3-camera setup. So check it out. Playground SF Solo Fest. It's you can see it live. You can see, if you want to sit in the front, I'll spin on you. I mean, some people like that. I mean, whatever your kink, right? Playground SF. That's on 1695 18th Street, Potrero Stage, January 17th at 7 p.m., January 26th at 8:30 p.m., February 2nd at 8:30 p.m., and February 7th at 2:30 p.m. You can see me live, 69 Emil Amok, talking about your favorite number, right? 69 is a good number. It's a good number. But you know what? You cannot be number 69 in the NBA. Did you know that? That's not right. That is not right. But you can be 69 at the Potrero Stage Solo Fest here in San Francisco. So I'm opening January 17th. Go get your tickets, please. And like I said, you can go stream it, and it's all free. It is a by donation show. By donation. And there, if you want QR code, there, I'll hold it up for a couple seconds. Oh, I got to get out my phone, Emil. I got to get it. Yeah, get out your phone. Okay, now click or hold still, Emil. Hold still. Okay, I'll hold still. All right, there you go. You get all the ticket information there. All right, and I may break out a different shirt. I may not wear the plaid. I may not wear the plaid because it's cold. That's the summer plaid, summer weight plaid. Anyway, come check out the show. Emil Amok, 69 Emil Amok. It's different. If you've seen it before, it is different. It's different than the shows that I've done. Well, somewhat. I mean, everything is new because he keeps doing stuff. He keeps doing stuff. And you got to react. You got to react. I'm a news guy. I mean, you got to react. Like when I did the show last year, did I talk about Venezuela? Not once. Ow. Last year, I talked about Ukraine. I talked about Epstein. This year, I'm talking a little about Epstein. Venezuela, yeah. Minneapolis, yeah. We'll talk about more stuff today. Anyway, check out the show, right? Emil 69, January 17th, 7 p.m. That's the first show, but there's four. January 26th, 8:30 p.m. February 2nd, 8:30 p.m. February 7th, 2:30 p.m. Come see it, please. I mean, it's free by donation. Throw me a bone. Throw me half a bone. We do the show, you pass the hat, we do the show. It's fun. All right. Today we're going to talk about the Globes, the Golden Globes. Nikki Glaser. She's the best. I've seen her live. I've seen her live at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in Modesto, California. I've seen her. When, could someone as ribald and as funny as Nikki Glaser at 4 p.m. Yes, she was funny. She was funny. Nikki Glaser's great. And, I don't want to say that she's better than Joe. Well, she did it last year, and she did it after Joe Coy bombed. I love them both. I think Joe Coy, great. Filipino, yes. My brother, he's only, I think, half Filipino. But Joe Coy he's a legend, right? Steven Spielberg loves him. And Steven Spielberg didn't make any money off Joe Coy. So I guess he's just back out on the road. He's good. But, I'm trying to figure out, why did Joe Coy bomb so bad? Well, he didn't have much time. He didn't have as many writers. Did you see there were like 19 writers helping Nikki Glaser, and some of them were the best in the business. Some of them, SNL type writers, and comedians. Ian Bagg was on that list of writers. She had a great set of late night writers on her team, and she killed it. That monologue was the best. In fact, the monologue was probably one of the edgiest places where you'd hear humor, like when she was talking about, hey, for A-list, right? A-list people, or A-lists out there with the most redacted clips, the best editing, Justice Department, great punchlines. And then, of course, the most edgy and maybe the longest punchline when she talked about CBS News winning for best editing. CBS News, America's newest place to CBS News. That's a great line. Nikki Glaser, that was a great line. And you know what? She's on CBS delivering that line because America wants to be insulted by a pretty, leggy blonde in a great dress. That's what this tells me. They do not want to be insulted by a Filipino with no hair. Thank goodness I have hair. But a Filipino with no hair in a nice tux, no, they don't want to be insulted by him. But by a leggy blonde with a nice dress, I mean, Nikki Glaser is a great comic, but her thing is the roast, the roast battle. And she has really risen to fame after that Tom Brady roast, and now she's got the Golden Globes. She was great. Great things for Nikki Glaser. Like I said, she's one of my favorites. So I liked it every time she was on the show. The thing is, she was the edgiest thing on the show. An award show used to be the time that actors and performers can state their case. And I think they've learned that no, you don't do that. You don't make your case by going on the air and pulling a Sachin Littlefeather and attacking any. I mean, at most I heard people say, "Oh, you got to do the right thing, people. We're going to do the right thing." No one said anything. They referred to the situation we're in, but no one really said boo. I mean, not even George Clooney. What did George Clooney? He spoke in French because he's a French citizen now. He had to take his family to France. When George Clooney plays along, what you're seeing on the air is a kind of self-censorship, which is weird, right? I mean, these are the artists. But here's the thing. The artists are choosing to speak through their art. Forget the award shows. The film that won, I have not seen. The film that won for best film, musical or comedy, One Battle After Another. I haven't seen it, but I was told, my wife was telling me, "Oh, well, that's a comedy?" And she's watched most of it. I said, "Did you laugh at any part of it?" And she said, "It's so dark." And I think the artist chose this year to let their art speak for itself. You want to know where we stand? Watch our art. Because, I mean, a film about anarchists, One Battle After Another, that won for best film, musical, or comedy, that says something. But watching the Globes and seeing the acceptance, you did not get this feeling that they were happy. Thank you very much. Golden Globes. And, it just was that kind of self-censored kind of, is it a sellout? Look, here's the thing about the Globes. The Globes used to be run by the Hollywood Foreign Press. The Hollywood Foreign Press sold out to Dick Clark. Dick Clark sold out to the Penske organization. The Penske organization knows nothing about film, but they know about money. They know about advertising. They know about getting a vehicle, because they're vehicle folks, right? The Penske group. And they chose to get into Hollywood and do the award show thing. And they have this vehicle that they're pumping money into. They're probably not going to make as much as the Hollywood Foreign Press did in its early days, but they're pumping money in. It has this glam look. I'm glad they kept it at the Beverly Hilton, because I have been in that room and I did a show. I did an award show for the ethnic media. Can you believe that? I did an ethnic media award show in that room. And it was great. We were honored the ethnic press, which is far from Hollywood. But we were there back when I was doing New California Media, when I was with those folks. And it was a great memory, a great privilege to be there at that award show and to be in that bill. So I know what that room is really small. It doesn't look it when you're looking at the cameras, but that room is really small. And they're all they're packed in there. And you had a lot of A-list players there who were pretty much just playing along, right? Hey, this is our business. There's something a little cynical, I thought, in terms of the artist. And now here's the thing. One thing that got the Golden Globes in trouble was a lack of diversity. And yesterday there was some diversity. It was it accidental? Ryan Coogler should not have been shoved off in the commercial category, because that Sinners was a great film. It was a great film. It was a great Hollywood film, but it was a great film from the vision of a real artist. And I mean, so on every level, it deserved to be right up there. But it was also a great movie making experience. So it was good that it was put in the same category as The Wickeds and the F1s. F1, great movie. great Hollywood style movie. But there was something about Sinners that really, it was a mash up of genres, but also spoke to the soul of being a a minority, a black person in America at that time. I thought it was a great film. I love Sinners. I thought it shouldn't be put off in the commercial category, but it made so much money. And even Ryan Coogler came up and said, "Hey, thank you for coming out to see us. You know, we knew we had the backing of Warner Brothers, but thank you for singing." And I'm thinking of Ryan Coogler, man, what a talent, right? If you followed his career from Fruitvale Station, right, writing about Oscar Grant, writing about Oakland, that was a diversity moment when he got up. And did he get, I mean, I guess he just went up and said, "Hey, here I am, African American, director on top of the world in Hollywood." It was a great moment. But if you didn't really know his story about Fruitvale Station, you just think, "Oh, well, he's just some hired hand at Hollywood who just made, several $100 million for the Hollywood studios, and whoopee for him." No, Sinners was a great movie. It was a great film. Coogler is an auteur. He's one of the greats. He's an African American director, and I just didn't want to see him shortchanged, right? By being put in his movie being put in that ultra Hollywood category. Although it says something, right? You could be as independent and as low budget, and you could still be great. Anyway, diversity. It was sort of incidental. Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. I did not see Hamnet. I guess it's going to come out to the Heatherlands at some point. I haven't seen it, but I'm curious. She's a great director, and she got up there. She talking about the humanity of film. That's great. I love the fact that there was the K-pop star who won. She plays MJ. What did she say? She said she just reminded people, if you're about trying your hand at showbiz, she just reminded people that rejection is redirection, right? Don't take rejection as the final thing. It's a redirection of your energies into something. Don't give up was her message. And I thought that was a great sentiment, because if you're in this business, you need to hear people say that. You need to hear people say that to you all the time. She said, this award goes to people who has heard doors closed at them. And that I can say this: rejection is redirection. And so never give up. And it's never too late to shine like you were born to be. I mean, that's a great message. That's why I was watching, right? Because I've got these aspirations at this late stage in my life to do things on stage, to do things, for people, to do things to express myself in the arts. And I hear these people in these big productions, like, K-pop or, that movie, right? And like Sinners. And I say, there's a shot. But at some point you decide, well, what kind of work do you want to do? Do you want to do the massive commercial stuff, or do you want to do something a little more edgy? And I heard Nikki Glazer talk about her monologue saying, "Hey, comedy's got to be a little edgy." And she was the edgiest last night because everyone else was sort of on good behavior. But their films are not necessarily on good behavior. Their films were pretty edgy. So they're letting their films talk, and they're collecting the hardware, and that's good. Speaking of hardware, Ricky Gervais did not show up to pick up Best Stand-Up, which I thought, well, he used the Globes to maintain his popularity. One of Sykes accepted it on behalf of God and trans. It was a funny speech or funny comment by Wanda Sykes. I love Wanda Sykes. Funny, funny, funny. And she went through all the different people who were nominated, and the one who won didn't show up. The one who probably were curious because he's given the Globes a lot of adjective. I mean, what how do you describe it? I mean, he caused controversy, and they invited him back a couple of times. He went back and he did more. But I think the Globes have found their person in Nikki Glaser. And I hope she keeps doing it. She's funny because America has spoken. This is who America wants to be insulted by. A blonde, leggy comedian who you like, and you'll accept it from her, but you won't accept it from a bald Filipino guy. I'm not saying she's not good, she's good. But she is the preferred insult giver. I want my insults coming from Nikki Glaser. That's it. Nikki Glaser can insult me all day. She called me an old man. She called me just insult away. She's gotten my money before. I have paid to see at 4:00 in the afternoon. I paid to see her. So I'm a fan. Nikki Glaser. Okay, now she made merciless fun of podcasts. And so did the winner, right? Amy Poehler said, "Hey, podcasts, they're just phoning it in," and she made fun of NPR as they're phoning it in over there at NPR. No, I think it's something when podcasts get a Golden Globe, and I'm sorry that the podcast I do did not win a Golden Globe, but here's the thing. This is like, remember when we watched, I mean, if you're of a certain age, when cable TV came on because people didn't want to see lousy reception from broadcasts from the airwaves. So cable TV came on and everyone thought, oh, we're going to get these new, interesting, innovative type of programs on cable. And what we got was more sex and more graphic stuff and better reception. But we didn't necessarily get better TV. In fact, we got TV that looked like TV, only better, and with sex. I mean, graphic sex. I mean, Girls. Remember Girls, the series Girls? I mean, was that the first public ass eating we've ever seen on cable? I think that was. So I just think that what we're seeing now, with the podcast form maturing and people paying millions of dollars for podcast ears because they're advertisers or advertiser targets, we're seeing the podcast field being taken over by, who were the nominated folks? Spotify, Sirius. They're all big companies, all companies that are trying to boost up, the whole podcast realm. You don't need much to start a podcast. But if you're going to spend millions, you got to justify spending millions by putting millions into podcasting and making podcasting sound and look like big time broadcasting. Therefore, undoing the democratization of podcasts, which is, I think, a sad thing. It's a sad thing. So anyway, it's good that they had a podcast thing, a podcast award. I hope the other people understand that podcasting is a legitimate thing that could be worth awards. But Amy Poehler won for, good hang because of, talks with celebrities. Actually, podcasts are like talk shows. The best of them are like talk shows, which is why talk shows on the air are coming down, on network air, because it seems like so everyday type of thing. Great podcasts, interviews with celebrities right now. So who knows what will happen? Probably more money, better production values. Anyway, so much for the Golden Globes. I know I love this topic because we look for diversity and we see it. We saw it in like Ryan Coogler, J Lo was a presenter, lots of presenters. We had the K-pop Korean woman, winning an award. We got the K-pop Demon Hunters winning an award. John Chu did not win for Wicked 2, but that he's a great director too. Chloe Zhao talking about Ryan Coogler, that was kind of interesting. Chloe Zhao, we're looking forward to seeing Hamnet when it comes. Let me just say, I just thought it was a good, entertaining show, which is, I guess, the point of why the big corporate Penske group bought it. But it just felt kind of self-censored because no one crossed the line. Not even George Clooney, Julia Roberts. They all played safe. And that's the kind of America we're in. All right, some other things in the news, the real news. This Fed Chairman Powell thing, where Donald Trump is going after Powell. It's really incredible because Donald Trump thinks he can get away with anything. And he says, oh, I don't know anything about it, but he knows something about it. And his sycophants are out there, the Justice Department, trying to sue Powell. But when this happens, it's going to be bad for America. You need an independent Fed. You can't go after the Fed Chair Powell because he doesn't want interest rates to go, he doesn't want to put them down. He doesn't want them lowering them where it's going to hurt the entire economy. And a whole group of former Fed chairs said, look, we need an independent Fed because if you have it all political and done by the president or a president, what happens is, this is something that you would say is good for an emerging market type nation, like a Brazil, India, Russia, emerging markets. And they have inflated currency and their economy is all screwed up. But for a mature country like the United States that believes in the rule of law, this is not the way you do it. But, where is Donald Trump taking us? Taking us back to the 19th century. He's taking us back to where he wants us to be a banana republic, like Venezuela. He wants to be the colonial, imperial head of Venezuela. But isn't it funny when the oil companies got together with Trump, they said, not so sure. We can't make any money on this. He toppled the wrong ruler. He needs a ruler with better oil because the oil in Venezuela is not that great. There's lots of it. This is going to cost more to go in there and take it out. So this is another mess that Donald Trump got us into. This is the thing about Donald Trump. He should learn what the good gurus tell their meditators. Let those thoughts go. Let those thoughts go. You don't have to act on every thought. Oh, I should get Venezuela. Oh, then if I get Venezuela, I should get Cuba. I should get Greenland. I should get them all. No. Let those thoughts go. I wanted to mention a point about diversity, and this is something that comes up because Elon Musk. Did you see what Elon Musk said? It really was kind of funny. It was a tweet that he put out, and 42.5 million people saw it. He said, if white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. White solidarity is the only way to survive. This is Elon Musk. He's the guy who destroyed our government by cutting 300,000 people, by cutting USAID, by cutting out the soft power muscle of the United States. He just got rid of all that. There are better ways to deal with those cuts, but he just took that chainsaw, and now we know his real feelings. He said, if white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. White solidarity is the only way to survive. Here's the reason why this is important. Because you look at all the people who he's trying to raise $20 billion for fundraising, and he's going to all these venture capitalists. None of them blinked an eye at that statement. None of them said, oh, that's bad. Racism is becoming commonplace and open, and it's because Musk said this, but it's not just Musk, it's also Donald Trump. Donald Trump, in that 2-hour interview with the New York Times last week, was talking about how, well, white people were hurt by discrimination. White people were hurt by civil rights. White people were hurt. Reverse discrimination. That's what he said. It was almost like the same kind of language that was used to defend 209, Prop 209, the California Civil Rights Initiative, the poorly named because it has nothing to do with civil rights. Had everything to do with reversing civil rights gains. But this is what turning Martin Luther King on its head and using Martin Luther King's rhetoric to foster racism. That was a start. That was in 95, 96. California passed Prop 209, and we haven't had affirmative action, at least within the state. Schools, employment. But there have been a number of times that people have tried to undo it, and they failed. This is the thing. You can't undo these things once they happen. You normalize racism, and when you have Musk tweeting out what he did, if white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. White solidarity is the only way to survive. White solidarity, that's a nice way to say white supremacy. That tweet was seen by 42.5 million people. That's the norm. And you have it backed up by President Trump. President Trump believes that. That's the world we're in. We are going back to the 19th century. That was clear, right? Tariffs, going back to imperialism, going back to really racist and oppressive quotas on immigration. 19th century. Reversal of birthright citizenship. And no one pushes back. No one says a thing. That's the world we're in. So Martin Luther King Day is coming up next Monday. Think about that. Think about content of character versus the color of skin. Looking at a person. I was talking to an agent yesterday, and I asked him about non-traditional casting. I said, Donald Trump is reversing DEI. Non-traditional casting meant Emil Guillermo, could be cast as a white guy in some things. And he said, I don't want to speak about DEI. He said, but I don't see you as a white guy. I see you maybe as an Asian lawyer, maybe a Latino. And my question was about, are there parts, more Latino parts, more Asian parts? He didn't answer that. So this goes back to my talk about the globes. Politics. The politics of all this, of race. It's an issue, whether you want to admit it or not. All right, some of you were football crazy this weekend. 49ers, wow, what a game, huh? They beat the Eagles. Eagles deserve to lose. Chicago Bears played a pretty good game, but they're going to play the Rams. And the 49ers are going to play the Seahawks. That's going to be a good game. They're playing when I'm on January 17th over at the Patera Stage. I think. I'm not sure. Maybe it's an afternoon game. Maybe. But all I know is I've been watching football, watching the coverage, And the one game, the Chicago Packer game, someone made note of how the Chicago Bear coach just gave a cursory glance at the other Green Bay coach, showing really poor sportsmanship. Then went back into the locker room and said, "I hate the Packers, F the Packers." I mean, he just really was laying it on. And this commentator I saw said, "Hey, I love this. This is the way it is. This is where football crosses over into society. I love the hate. I love the hate." No, I don't love the hate. Hey, look, football's a distraction. But when football isn't a distraction and it becomes the model for your way of dealing with other people, hey, time to stand back and say, don't let football get in the way of a humane and solid life where you love everyone, where we work together. I mean, this guy was promoting the idea that hate was good. Hate is not good. What happened to sportsmanship? Look, I'm not clutching my pearls. In fact, I'd take my pearls and wrap them across the chest. I'm not clutching my pearls. I'm just pointing out we don't need hate in our country. We don't need more division. Football's a distraction. Football shouldn't be the fuel to get people all riled up. But apparently there are some people who really love it. Yeah, fan hooliganism. Yeah. Look, it happens in all sports. In San Francisco, about, what was it, maybe 15 years ago, fans, giant Dodger game, got rowdy. One man got really badly hurt. It happens in all sports when sports gets out of hand. And when I heard that, I said, it's out of hand. Because here's the lesson. The lesson is we are on the same team. We're on different teams. We're rooting for different teams when it comes to sports. But basically, we're on the same team. And we shouldn't confuse that idea. So anyway, all right. I guess that's it. That's it for our show today. I wanted to come on and just say one more time, Emil Amok, Playground SF, 1695 18th Street, San Francisco, the Potrero Stage, January 17th, 7 p.m., January 26th, 8:30 p.m., February 2nd, 8:30 p.m., February 7th, 2:30 p.m., 69 Emil Amok. The Real Journalist Stands Up. I talk about my Trump derangement syndrome. Is it Trump derangement syndrome? No, it's not. We're on the same team, remember? No, it's not Trump derangement syndrome. Hey, go to playgroundsf.org or playgroundsf.org/solofest. Throw that hyphen in there. And there's the QR code in case you want that. But it's a good show. I've done it throughout Canada, and I refined it and revised it and updated it. So with new stuff, I talk about new stuff. 69 Emil Amok. Catch it January 17th. Here's the thing. It's free with donation. And you can see it live. So you can sit in front and I can spit out into the crowd. Or you can stream it from home. So donate, stream, see it live. Go to playground-sf.org and get your tickets. It's on the screen as well. All right. We end with a little loving kindness. We always end with a little loving kindness because it's the way. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time, mahal